Welcome to the next perfect step where all possibilities lie in conversation. And Lori and I are here today to have a conversation with each other, with you. I am a Reiki master teacher in Tuptenburg, New Hampshire. And I also do private sessions and have a channel blog and compose music from spirit to just calm the soul.
And I'm Laurie Mullen. I'm here in Hampstead, New Hampshire. I am an energy practitioner and someone who truly, truly knows we can create our dream life. So today we wanted to have a conversation about something that came forth to me in meditation, a line of thought process that I want to share with you and then explore. So we'd also love to hear from you, what comes up from you during this conversation, so that maybe we can even extend this conversation to another podcast. So I'm going to share with you first what came through during this meditation. I think I was sitting in meditation with an intention of wanting to connect even more and more deeper and longing for something more substantial than what I'd been getting, which leads down, this which will lead to more and more things about value and stuff. But I'm going to read kind of what came through on my meditation. But that was my intention. My intention was to connect deeper, more substantial from my perspective of going into this meditation. So it was practice. You want more and you want it instantly. Well, we can give you that. I love you. But you want something more. Why? Why do you not value anything more than I love you? Think on that. Why is that not the most powerful message there is? Because as a whole, you don't understand unconditional love. So those words don't carry the true energy that is needed. This is your job. Learn to hold love energy. Learn to value love. Learn to be love. We love you is always the message and the most powerful, true, amazing, world-changing message that we can bring. Spread love, value love, redefine your love on this planet. Go, go, go. And that got me thinking that love has been so corrupted on this planet, in this world that we're living in, that we don't know the true essence of love. Love is conditional. Love is a if. If you do what I want, if you believe in the same beliefs I have, if you value me more than yourself, if you show me by buying me things, if love is an if and comes with a condition. But love is supposed to be unconditional. Can we love someone if they leave you? Can we love someone if they don't believe in the same beliefs you have? If they don't act the way you want them to act? And that's something that I've started exploring since this meditation. And this part of me that comes up with all of the really hard stuff, that wants me to say no, that wants me to say, well, I could love somebody if they don't hold the same belief as me, but I can't love somebody if they rape me. And I don't think to start the process of redefining love that we have to go straight to the finish line, straight to the really hard stuff. Can I just make the baby step to say, I can love you if you don't hold the same belief I do, if you're not acting the way that I need you to act? Can I love you if you value yourself over me first? And I think that that's where, for me, this meditation took me. Lori, did you have any thoughts on where that meditation, that message that came through for you?
And I think that's a profound message. And hearing an echo. Are you hearing an echo?
No.
Okay. Sorry. But that was a wonderfully profound message. And I agree with you that we're all kind of programmed into thinking about being having conditions for love. And I think what I try to do is see myself or another person in a higher place, like that they are loved and who they are, because what they're maybe doing in their lives right now is unconscious, and they don't know, they're hurting themselves or withholding love from themselves. And that's what I think we need to learn not to do, is withhold love from ourselves first. Because when we judge another person, we're also withholding love from ourselves. And it's hard. It's hard to break out of that mindset that we've been conditioned to live in, as far as relating to one another, and as far as our hearts. We don't want to be hurt. We don't want to be rebuked or criticized or things like that. So we try to, put up walls and protect ourselves. But how do we not do that? How do we be open and sure of ourselves and just walk through the world without being defensive? Because we really don't need to defend ourselves. And that's huge, because we all defend ourselves. We all get to that place. So how do you think, how does that work?
So I agree with what you said. And then there's the thought, right? Like we've talked about it. So we see as somebody else hurting us and somebody else judging us and somebody else, I forget what else you said, but but in that perspective, nobody else can hurt us but ourselves. Nobody else can judge us but ourselves. Nobody else can make us feel bad about ourselves except us. And so I think to get that's one of the steps, right? Is to start taking that power back from other people. Somebody else can't hurt you unless you let them, right? I think that's part of putting our walls down, is realizing that we don't give them that power. That if we feel that way, it's coming from us. It's usually either guilt or shame or judgment. And who's doing the judging? We are. Mm-hmm. But I think that goes with value too, right? So we're putting value in somebody else above ourselves, right?
Right, so, looking for their approval. And
right, looking for their approval when all we should be looking for is our own approval, right? So, and isn't that another step? Can we love them even if they don't approve of us? Can we love ourselves enough where somebody doesn't have to approve of us? And I've been meditating on this one message since. So something else that came up was, can I love someone and not want to play a role in their story? And I no longer need them in mind to teach me about myself. So when that came up, it was this thing where, so if I'm supposed to, if love is all that there is, and that I need to redefine love and love everybody without conditions, does that mean that I should stay in a toxic relationship because I love them? And I don't think that the true essence of love means that. I think that you can say, I love you as a human being, but I don't need this story anymore. I don't need you to teach me this anymore. And I am going to part in love, which just means I'm not going to seek revenge on you. I'm not going to blame you. I'm not going to define the conditions to love you. But I don't need you to teach me about love anymore. Which brought me to a book that I am reading currently, which is The Three Questions, and it's by Don. I just want to make sure I get the name correctly, because as everybody who knows me knows that I'm not good with speech. Don Miguel Ruiz. Lori, am I saying that right?
Yeah, Miguel.
Miguel Ruiz. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
It's called The Three Questions. And the three pearls of wisdom that he talks about, the three questions, is who am I? What is real? And what is love? And those are the three pearls of wisdom. But he talks about how none of us ask, who am I not? What is not real? What is not love? And how do we know what is if we don't know what is not? And for me, that was like, I mean, I always knew contrast, right? That we live in a world of contrast, but to truly discover who we are, we have to know who we're not. And we talk about mirroring. This is a big topic about how people mirror us, and we're always looking for how it's reflecting on us. But what if some of that mirroring is teaching us who we're not, to know who we are?
So that's what you were talking about, the contrast. And yeah, I love that mirroring idea, and that it's like everything that we see, there's a teaching that everything we see in the world is a mirror of our world. And that's a kind of a hard concept, but it's really important. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, sometimes I take things to the extreme sometimes. Like I'm that pendulum that swings from one end to the other, especially when I'm trying to learn something or to go through my thought process. I really swing from one side to the other. And when I started even a while ago looking at mirroring, I wanted to take everything into myself, right? What is this? Why am I seeing this in my life? And what am I doing wrong that this is showing up, right?
Right.
And this thought form made me realize that maybe I didn't do anything wrong, or maybe it's not showing me something wrong within myself or something that needs to be healed within myself, but it's showing me who I'm not, or who I don't. For me to discover who I am, I have to see what I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that showed up in my life to say, that's what I'm not. And that was a new perspective for me in mirroring, because I always wanted to internalize it, right? I'm a big believer of everything is within, right? Our whole world is what we're creating within ourselves.
But you don't want to take blame. You don't want to blame yourself.
Right. And in that concept of seeing what I'm not judging that person. That person showed up to show me what I'm not, so I know who I am. Or that thing or the event showed up to show me what I'm not, or what's going inside internally, and not judge. And to not judge is a part of true essence of love. right? Like I can just thank you for showing up and teaching me something, and then moving on. And isn't
Another,
that loving?
right. And another concept that I've aware of is that, we are all, as your message so beautifully stated, we're all of love. And that's enough. That's the most profound thing we could do. So if you feel like you're not a part of love, then you're going to be exhibiting those characteristics that aren't loving. So the idea is that sometimes our actions are a cry for love, that we want, that we're crying out for love, and that's where the acting out comes from sometimes with people. And unconsciously, it's, they just want that reunion with who they truly are, which is love. And it's, a lot of times it's piled up with lots of mud and stuff, but that's who we are, that diamond that's covered up a little bit, but that diamond is always for forever, and that's who we are. That's the love that we are. So
Right.
that's another concept.
Oh, absolutely. And an important one. And I think part of the message too is us redefining it. So we all want to be loved, but we don't, but like, again, back to the message for me. And I think part of this whole message that came forth was when we talk about, the love is a big theme right now. And well, I mean, it always should be, but again, I don't value it. So I would kind of roll my eyes. And why? Because I think we've corrupted love. And so for me, love is conditional. So then that I don't want conditions, right? I don't want the essence of love that I felt before this message and the one I'm trying to learn now are very, very different. And so I think when we're seeking love, we really need to decide how we're defining it. What are we looking for? Are we looking for a love that agrees with everything we say? Is that love to you? I mean, we really need to start by defining what we've defined as love. Do we want love because we want someone to support us in everything, whether we're right or wrong? Do we want somebody who just totally believes the exact same way we believe? We need to start by defining what love looks like for us and realizing all the conditions that we have set forth on love. And then my next step is to try to break that down. And I have noticed in my life that things are coming up that make me frustrated, and I have to step back and say, can I love this person anyway, even if they're doing what's frustrating me? Even if this never changes and they can never stop this frustrating thing, can I still love them? And I don't think that it's here that we can answer that you have to feel into that. And I think that is where part of it for me feels like redefining is to stop thinking about what love is and to feel what love is. But I can tell you that, like, when people, do something really special for you, when my husband bought us our vacation to go to Key West, that felt really loving. But and it was, do not get me wrong, it was. But do I love him any differently or any more because of that condition or event or whatever you want to say it than I did if he didn't? No. I love him the same. But it did create happiness and an excitement. And I think that that's where we need to start plucking away at the old story of love.
I agree.
To create the new story of love.
Mm-hmm.
And what the true essence of love really is, instead of all the stuff we've piled on top of it.
It's true. And I think it starts with us. I have a friend who said our purpose here is to raise our vibration in love, and that's it too. And then that spreads to you, to your husband, to the person in the store, to the male person. Everybody gets part of that, and everybody's vibration is raised as we raise our own. And it's all like this light. I see it as is like, you know how you're in an airplane at night and you see the lights just everywhere in the city. That's kind of how I see that. Like everybody's lights are lighting up in this massive, beautiful grid of light that's spreading across the world. So it's, my point is that it starts here with us in raising our own vibration and coming into that place where love resides in our, like you said, not here, but our heart, for sure.
Yeah. And yeah, and for me, that's exactly where we need to start finding that true essence of love and expanding that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the stuff that we're made of. That's what everything is made of, is that power of love. It's not the what we were talking about before. It's different. It doesn't have those judgments or emotions. It's a force of life, and it's a force of being, and it's a force that's life-giving.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it does start within us, right? Like we need to, and I, this is something else we talked about, our jobs here. And I think that in my intent around this message is my job is to see all of the things that I've put and value in love and break that all down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my job in order to find the true essence of love is to find all the beliefs and conditions I've put around it to get down to the core of it. That's my job, is to break down all of those things of what love isn't in order to find the true essence of what love is.
Like,
right.
That's the way a snake sheds its skin. It's just gets, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good analogy. I like that. That's true. And we have to keep doing that, right? And I think me and you, Lori, talked about how sometimes we trade one belief for another and then we get stuck there because it feels better than the first, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it feels like this is right. And then we get stuck there. And that's not evolving. We have to get to the next good feeling, the next higher vibration, and keep going. We have to then get there, feel that, embody that, and then question it in order to get to the next vibration,
Mm-hmm.
in order to get to the next expansion of who we are. And I think sometimes we get stuck in that one good feeling, in that one belief, and we don't continue to shed that skin. The snake just doesn't shed one skin and grow a new one. It continually sheds and sheds and sheds.
Right. Right. Yeah,
I think that's important.
I agree with you. Yeah. And I think we were talking earlier about how sometimes, you get into like a new age kind of world where there's all these different ideas and things like that. And you can get stuck there too. You need to find what's true for you. And you made a good point about feeling it, because it's not figuring it out necessarily, because we usually, if we don't, sometimes we can't figure it out, but we can feel it. We know in our soul what's true. When you hear the truth, you can feel it, and it makes you know that that's something that's true for you.
I 100% agree. And I think that is also like, so what's true for us is the thought we keep thinking over and over that feels good in our bodies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is, can we now question it to be, is there something even truer? What's the next level of that truth?
The next perfect
We
step.
just can't get stuck with just right. I mean, I said, beliefs are things we keep thinking over and over again, something we've given value to. But it isn't always the true essence of truth. It's true at that moment. And can we keep going with that?
Yeah. I like the image too of, in nature, there's always spirals. I have this shell that's a spiral, but I always feel that that's how we are moving, is in a spiral, spiraling higher in our beliefs and our dimensions and our experiences. And we're meant to have wonderful experiences, expansive experiences, and to share them.
Yes. Yes. And that it never ends.
Right.
There's never a stopping point.
Right.
We just keep expanding. The spiral just keeps expanding. I mean, the minute you said it, I saw it like a tube, you know what I mean? And like, it just keeps expanding. That there is no, reaching the top. It just keeps expanding if we allow it to.
Mm-hmm.
If we can always continue to question. We always want to be right because we've put value on being right. And we stomp our feet and we're fighting with one another over our beliefs and our truths. But can we expand that for ourselves? Can we keep questioning our own beliefs and our own truths in order to keep expanding? And part of this message is what I've realized is that I need to keep looking at all of that in all areas of my life, and not just in certain areas of my life, but can I look at that in all areas of my life? And it's not easy. Me and Laurie, we talk about it all the time. This isn't easy when we have an intention and we get a message and then it starts showing up in our lives, right? So here's this beautiful intention of me wanting to find the essence of love, right? The true essence of love, and break down all of the corrupted love that we've put in our society. And so it's showing up. And that's not fun. It's not fun at all. It doesn't feel very loving. But again, then this book showed up, which made me understand that I needed to know what love wasn't, and in order to know what love is. I need to know who I'm not in order to know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But then I get to decide when that story's over for me too. When I get to say, I've learned enough of who I'm not to learn a new way.
Making way for that new way.
Making way for that new way. Right.
And yeah.
Now let me expand by knowing who I am and to continue to get to know myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I can still observe who I'm not and what love isn't, but not be a part of it. I don't have to be involved in the story.
Mhm. And part of that too is we were talking about other people, and I think just letting them be who they are, like you were saying, just because we have no idea what they're supposed to be going through or what lessons they're supposed to be learning. Everyone is going through something. And so kindness, love, but just let them be who they are, because no matter what it looks like, we're all in our essence, we're all at our core love, made from love. It might not look that way, it might look horribly messy and wrong, but we have to know that in our heart that we are connected to each other and to love. And that's right, it gets messy, right? But that's the truth of it.
Right. And it does, and we get to decide whether we want to stay there or not. But it is something that we have to realize first, right? We have to see it. So yeah, I think it's important. Which all of this led me to more on the lines of value, and the meaning we put and the value that we give things, right? And I'm a big believer, as Lori does the Course in Miracles, The Way of Mastery, which Lori gifted me, this beautiful book, and just has been beautiful. So I'd like to read just a page that this led me to on that subject of value and meaning.
Great.
So, beloved friends, the way is easy and without effort. You exist to extend your treasure, and your treasure is that which is led up to heaven through the decision to remember only your loving thoughts and to extend only loving thoughts, and to allow your actions to express or to manifest in the field of time, the good, the beautiful, and the holy. Never is your freedom taken from you. Never in any circumstance do you lose the innocent freedom to teach only love, to be the presence of peace, to recognize that the world can give you nothing, just as the world can take nothing from you. When a child goes through a shift of awareness, they come to a point in their maturity process, not by struggle, not by design, not by much processing, and not by any manner of strategics. The child merely, in an instant, looks at the toys that he has been playing with and simply transcends them. The parent comes home and the child has taken the toy truck and put it away in the closet. The doll is put on the windowsill and a book is picked up instead. Who makes the change? Not anyone outside the child. When you put aside any negative habit as you would perceive it to be, when you have given up placing value in something that no longer serves you, you merely transcend it and it is done with. No big deal. No one does it for you. You simply decide. You pull back the value you have placed upon it, and the objects that were symbols of what you were valuing merely to drop out of your life. In just this way, unenlightenment can be put away as though it were a toy that you have outgrown, by merely looking at all of the effects of unenlightenment and then asking the question, is this what I wish to have continue in my experience? Or am I willing to put the doll on the windowsill and pick up a book instead? A book that speaks of life, a book that is filled with wisdom, a book that teaches you how to step lightly into the world, to be in the world, but not of it. That book is the depth of your consciousness in which all things are already written. And that depth finds the source in your heart. You enter it through forgiveness, through the process of relinquishing the world, not hating the world, not despising the world, but simply relinquishing it. You allow your time to serve you in the process of relinquishing what does not serve you any longer and what only disturbs your peace.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. And that brought up in me, can I love someone and not value them? What a big question that is.
Right. Yeah.
Because we think to love someone, I have to value them. But isn't that a condition? We have corrupted love and made it mean value, and value above what? Value is nothing but meaning, and we are the only one creating what value or meaning we are given. Something or someone based on what? Past feelings, experiences, old wounds, and stories. So does value equal love? That was what came to me when I read that part in the book. And that's something that I'm, exploring right now. Like, to me, that was like, wow. For me, value and love does mean the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I value what I love. But what does value even mean? Value is only something I've given meaning to. Right. You and I may not value all the same things.
We're putting your attention on something, right? Focusing and then putting your attention on it. Like putting your attention on that toy, and then later you're like, oh, I think I'm done with the toy. I think I'll try this book.
And don't we create that? So then it had me thinking how we value things and how we give meaning to things, right? So for me, like strawberry shortcake doll when I was a child was huge. I loved strawberry shortcake. Okay. But then you may not have, right? You may have played with, and I'm just going to use this as an example. I really have no idea. You may play with Barbie. So you valued Barbie over strawberry shortcake. So, and where did we find that? We found it out of a feeling from childhood, right? So it was based off of, so when we give something value and meaning, we based it off an old feeling, an old experience. We've connected it to a feeling. And so then we've valued it. But is that the true essence of love? Because then we could end up fighting that strawberry shortcake is more valuable than Barbie because we've connected it to love. But neither one of them's really love.
That's right.
So then that brought, we're going down all Laurie's rabbit holes. So that brought me, this one little message has brought forth all of these things, right? So then I was meditating on that, and that brought me to the message. When we get confused about, these things, and so when we can't figure it out, the mind only knows what it has seen. And since we have never been there, we can't use the mind to get somewhere new. We need our souls who can see what can see. We need our souls who can see what only humans can't see. We wouldn't be here trying to figure it out or trying to manifest something new if we've already been there or we're already there? So if we want to figure out what love really is, and we know that we've corrupted love, we can't use our minds to get there because our minds have never been there.
That makes sense. Yeah, that really, I love that. Love that. What else did you, that book is amazing, isn't it?
It's absolutely amazing. I mean, I love this book. I
Yeah.
can't get it. It's so many aha moments for me. It brings me down so many thought processes. I love the book. I absolutely love the book. Yeah.
Messages are from love, which is
Yeah.
expansive and makes you like makes you understand things that you hadn't thought about before.
Yeah. It makes you question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Which
one.
is just, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, oh, what a great conversation.
Right?
Mhm.
So I'd like to leave us with some parting words. One more channeled message that I got.
Good.
And so my parting words, what if there's no healing needed? No blocks to overcome? What if you just need to stop living in that old story and create the story you want to live in? And your purpose? What if your purpose is to come completely worthy of that life? Not and just because you exist, to love yourself enough to embody the life you want to live.
Wow. You're already worthy.
Right. And I think
Yeah.
that to me was like, wow, we are creating the blocks
Yeah.
that we put in front of ourselves to stop us from getting where we want to be.
Mhm.
There really is no blocks except the ones we're putting there because we don't think we're worthy of it.
That's right. That's
And
right.
that and our purpose, what we need to do in order to get the life we want is just to know and to know that we're worthy just because we exist and to truly fully embody that. And what's the essence of that is love. To love ourselves, to know that we're worthy of everything we could ever want.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So do you have any parting words for us?
I just feel that what you said was so beautiful and that we are loved as we are. And we don't have to, I think that we are always sometimes trying to strive to get somewhere, to understand things. We're always thinking we have to work harder. And I think we need to slow down and just be still and just receive. Because we already have everything. We just need to receive it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, I appreciate you and thank you for letting me share all these thoughts and feelings and work through them and see what your thoughts and feelings are. And I would love to hear from anybody else what their thoughts and feelings are, or what these my meditations have brought up for you, and what your thoughts are. And I hope to continue this conversation.
Those are wonderful. Thank you for sharing your meditations and the readings. Lots of things to think about and feel.
Yeah, and expand on.
Yes. Good.
So until next time, everybody, what is your intuition leading you to the next perfect step?
Bye for now.